Good morning, Akshita. In yesterday's class, I asked you a question what chapter to start, but I did not get any reply from you. So, you are hearing already a chapter from school. I wanted to start the geometry part of mathematics, which is a very helpful tool in future also. So, the chapter name is Lines and Angles. This is the chapter, and I am covering this chapter completely from R.D. Sharma. So whatever the classes you are hearing from me, they are the extra knowledge to you, which will help to improve your IQ. I am sure they will really, very much helpful to you. Okay, let's start the chapter. So the chapter, how it will be starting is, the first part of chapter is types of angles. What are the different types of angles? So this is the first part of chapter. Now before going to this, Akshita, you should be knowing the difference between what is a line, what is a line segment, and what is a ray. Line means which is extending in the both directions, infinite, up to infinite. There is no end for that. For the drawing. Line segment, it has two end points. So what we can say is no end point for the line, and line segment, two end points. Ray having only one end point, in other direction it will go on for infinite. So only one end point. This is the difference between line segment and ray. Sorry, my software got stuck up, just 1 second. One end point for the ray. Clear? Now the first topic of the lines and angles is types of angles. So in this, the first category, what we are going to consider is adjacent angles. Adjacent angle. This is the heading. Now the important point what you should know is, the adjacent angle is pair of angles. What is the meaning of pair of angles? Only two angles can be called as adjacent angles. You cannot take three angles and say that these three are adjacent. You cannot take four and say these four are adjacent. No. Adjacent angles matlab always only two angles. So any two angles you take, if at all they are adjacent, call them as adjacent angles. Only means in adjacent angles only two angles will be there. That is the meaning of pair. Only two angles will be there. Clear? So now what is exactly adjacent angles? I am writing the definition over here. The definition is, two angles are adjacent. Two angles are adjacent. The first condition, they have common vertex. They have common vertex. Second point, they have common arm. Third point, other arms lie on opposite sides of common arm. Two angles are adjacent, they have common vertex, they have common arm, and other arms lie on opposite side of common arm. This is the definition of adjacent angles. Now, sir, that even the definition is looking like a Bahubali definition, the understanding is very simple. Now, first thing what I wanted to say you is, how do you represent exactly angle? See here, I think it's coming in black color. This is how we represent the angle. This is called vertex, and this one and this one are called arms of the angle. And if you see carefully, this is a ray which has one endpoint and extending, and this is also a ray. So this is how an angle is represented, Akshita. Now the point is, this is the basic thing. Now I'm erasing this. You might pause the video and write it down, but I'm deleting this over here. What he is saying here, two angles are adjacent, they have common vertex, put one common vertex, and then they have a common arm, draw one arm here. Next, what they are saying, other arms lie on opposite side. So let's have a arm like this, and let's have a arm like this. So now this is angle 1 and this is angle 2. Now if you see, angle 1 and angle 2 have a common vertex. Angle 1 have two arms. Angle 2 also have two arms. Both of them have a common arm. And other arms are on opposite sides, right? So this is an example for adjacent angles. Is that clear? This is the diagram. So you can be easily able to find it out which are adjacent. So for example, I am drawing more diagrams. See, if at all a diagram is there like this, these two angles are called adjacent. Every condition they satisfied. See, they have a common vertex, they have a common arm, other arms are on opposite side. Perfect. So these two angles are called adjacent angles. So now let me give an example where which are not called adjacent. How can I give an example? Okay, so Akshita, I just wanted to give it like this. Let's say this is the common arm. Okay, now one angle is like this. This is one angle. Now other angle is something like this. See carefully, even though they have a common vertex, see they have a common vertex, this bigger angle is not adjacent with the smaller angle. Let's say this is angle A1, this is angle A2. I am writing it in the pink color. A1 comma A2 are not adjacent. Why? The reason is the remaining two arms are on the same side of common arm. They are not on the opposite side. So they are on the same side. Therefore, they are not adjacent. So these three examples are very good examples which you can write it in your notebook by pausing the video. Now I am going for the next heading, that is called second heading. I think first heading is adjacent angle. Second heading is called linear pair. We learned about adjacent angles. Now we are learning about linear pair. I wanted to first give the definition to you for this. The definition is, again linear pair matlab only two angles. Pair matlab two angles. Linear pair. I'll start the definition like this. Two adjacent angles are said to form two adjacent angles are said to form a linear pair. Two adjacent angles are said to form a linear pair of angles if other two, if I'll write like this, if their non-common arms are two exactly opposite rays. One second, actually, let me check it whether the recording is happening properly or not. Yeah, it is happening. Two adjacent angles are said to form a linear pair of angles if their non-common arms are two exactly opposite rays. So now you may get a doubt. What is a non-common arm? Sir, this is called a non-common arm. And this is also called non-common arm. Clear? So this is going to be, and this is going to be the common arm, which you know. Now what he is saying here is, okay, first of all, since they are adjacent, put one common vertex and then put one common ray. So this is going to be the common ray or the common arm. Anything is fine, Akshita, ray or arm. Now other two non-common arms are exactly opposite. So this is one ray here and exactly opposite, sir. Not even little bit angle, they are exactly opposite. See, oh, I am unable to draw it properly, but yeah, they are exactly opposite. Means what you know, the angle here is 180 degrees. They are exactly, you know, opposites. Like yeah, that's it. I think you know what is the meaning of it. Now this is these two angles. Which two angles, sir? This one, angle 1 and angle 2. Angle 1 comma angle 2 are called linear pair angles. This is about the linear pair angles. Okay, fine. Now we learned adjacent angles and then we learned linear pair angles, right? We are going for a third heading, that is called complementary angles. Complementary angles. Akshita, complementary angles, the definition I am writing, the angles whose sum is 90 degrees. The angles whose sum is 90 degrees are called complementary angles. The angles whose sum is 90 degrees are called complementary angles. For example, I just wanted to give many examples to you. See, if you take 20 degrees and 70 degrees, they are called, again sir, one important thing, complementary angles are again two angles only, pair, not more than two. You cannot say like, you know, I'll just give an example to make you understand more. Sir, 20 degrees and 70 degrees, we add both of them, it is going to be 90. Therefore, these are called complementary angles. Now next, you might ask me, sir, 10, 20, 60. What is the addition of all these three, Akshita? It is going to be 90 degrees. But I told you complementary matlab only two. So these cannot be called as complementary angles. Right? So now another example which I wanted to give you, 30 degrees and 60 degrees. These are complementary. Next, 45 degrees and 45 degrees. These are also complementary. 53 degrees and 36 degrees. Are these complementary or not? Check it. 53 plus 36. It is going to be 89 degrees. Right? So 89 degrees is not 90 degrees. Therefore, these are not complementary angles. So these are the examples for complementary angles. Now I will just give you a question. See, the question is, find the measure of an angle which is complement to itself, which is complement to itself. So this is the question. Before understanding this question, I wanted to say some point over here. If you take this example, Sakshita, I think I just wanted to if you see this, 20 degrees and 70 degrees are complement na, are called complementary angles, right? Now 20 degrees is called complement to 70 degrees. That's how you relate them, and vice versa. 70 degrees is called complement to 20 degrees. You understood what is the meaning of complement to? Now, after understanding this, let's understand. Find the measure of an angle which is complement to itself. So, if you see carefully, let the angle be x. Now, x is complement to itself. X is complement to x, that means itself. That means addition of these two should be 90 degrees. That is x plus x equal to 90. So 2x equal to 90, x equal to 45. So one angle is 45, other angle also will become 45, Akshita. 45 is complement to 45 because the addition of those two is 90 degrees. Thank you, Akshita. We will continue the class tomorrow from supplementary angles. Bye bye.